stop. You ain't here, I'm the real truth. Hunters, real blues, trips on them still new. Shopping at Dover Street, I'm dripping like mildew. They say you don't visit the hood, dog, I still do. A real one, only difference, my bill's bigger. I'm still with ya, I just got rich a little quicker. The same man, God handed me his game plan. I ain't perfect, far from it, what can I say, man? I feel unstoppable, losing's impossible. Go against the team, the thing they know not to do. Bright lights, game on the line, do what I gotta do. Time after time, we do the impossible. It felt like yesterday, I was just driving my grandma's Chevrolet. From South Carolina to Maryland, I take the jet today. I'm still on the come up, I'm still building my resume. I still got a lot to prove, but still I'm heavyweight. I still got
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. First 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9?
This will be a return from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Here we go, back.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Well, this defense for the Lions, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
These two teams, you may remember, they met in Minnesota earlier in the year with the Vikings coming out victorious. So if they can win again here in Detroit, they'd pull off the season sweep.
On first and 10, Joe Burrow throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A very solid gain of 27.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Now Burrow on first down. Flush to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to do it.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up third down on the sack.
They'll make that a second sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback, maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this.
A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a first and 10. And now here's a carry heading left. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. This shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. That's a great example right there to remind everyone of what a weapon he can be as a mobile quarterback, Charles. Nice play to escape the pocket and get his offense into the red zone with a first down.
The defensive coach is losing their mind on that play because they knew about his mobility coming in, and they preached all week long. If he gets outside the pocket, find receivers in your area and cover them. Otherwise, plays like that will continue to result.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding it at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal.
Let's go.
Burrow will throw. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Ready.
Off of play action, here's Lance. Over the middle, complete. That's McCoy. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I'll give them credit winning that first snap and forcing an incompletion. They're hoping that'll divert the offense a little bit after they took the field charged up after taking over after a turnover.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Out there is Rodrigo Blankenship in the field goal unit. And quite a bit of pizza in this box. It's a 53-yard attempt. Blankenship's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
Throw left side here, complete to Campbell. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they are back down to the 500 mark after 2 straight losses. And Charles, this is a team that, to be frank, their play has really dropped off the last couple of weeks.
And Brandon, I think there's a sense around the building that they can't let this losing streak get any worse than it is. Because if they're going to lose here and go below 500, then you're playing catch-up the rest of the way. They've got to take a stand and make it stop right now.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports.
Here we go.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a handoff as they run left side. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. He stayed afloat for a second there after the first wave of contact, but that was going nowhere.
Yeah, what did he tell us in pregame? I just don't want to get my feet stopped initially when I'm trying to make a run. That's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, as you noted, got away a little bit from the first one, but the wave swarmed him under. On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Come on, back. 5, 6.
On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
First play of the drive, a 1st down run. Well, that sets you up for whichever way you want to go. Do you come right back and run the football again because you've got them on their heels? Or do you play chess match with them break tendency, can go play action and go for the big shot.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Here's Walker. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
Walker once more, and he'll be stopped up short as the tackle is made at about the 3.
Calling a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. 2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter.
Walker is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions.
He had the option to hand that football off. I think it's safe to say that he made the right decision. That was a heck of a run.
It certainly was, and when you mentioned the option, most people think the quarterback's not going to keep the ball. You know, in the NFL, that's usually not the recipe for being around too long. So when you do keep it, it often surprises the heck out of a defense.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
As this offense gets ready here for this drive, Charles, you still wonder about that prior drive. Went for it on 4th down in their own territory, didn't get it, and then that led to a touchdown on the other side.
And I don't mind the aggressiveness. In fact, I'm usually a huge fan of it, but I just want teams to always weigh risk and reward. To me, too early in this game because the reward just wasn't big enough to go for it there in case they failed. Now the pressure back on their offense to pick themselves up, and they gave the touchdown that was just given up.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bush. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And he'll throw this one away. But I don't think he was out of the pocket. No, here comes the flag.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten far enough away from the pocket to throw that football away, and that draws the flag.
Yeah, the old tackle box, right? Get outside of each tackle, and then you can go ahead and throw it away, and you're in good shape. But if you're back there in the pocket, you got to make sure of what you're doing.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Now Joe Burrow on 3rd and long. Wide open receiver complete. A crazy sequence here. Huge gain that time, but it still leaves him well short for 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling.
And this is caught. A big play there for Detroit. 68 yards.
Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years, and the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And that's how you start a drive, because you know they have this play in their back pocket, waiting for the right time to unleash it. And boy, did they pick the right opportunity. Unleashed it big time, and that was also a big-time throw.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Ken Walker with his 13th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 21-10 game. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. And he's got some space here. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. 75 yards. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that. And one play, 75 yards in zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Right now, we've got a little bit of an offensive masterpiece going on both sides, moving the football, scoring points. It's almost like somebody put the defense on rookie mode in this one. I mean, we haven't even left the first half, Charles, and we're certainly on pace for a shootout.
An excellent start for both offenses. The fans have to be enjoying this to see all these points go up on the board. As a former defender, you know I'm not enjoying this at all. But right now, both these teams just trading haymakers. Let's see if anyone slips up first. Can anyone counter with a nice little jab and get things going in their direction?
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Here's a quick throw out wide by Lance, complete. And in for the Lions, touchdown.
A 1-yard touchdown reception. And they're able to add on to their advantage. Extra point right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Burrow now off the bootleg.
Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Got to give some credit. They were able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big third down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Fielded at the 33. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return, and the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Up the middle, here's Walker.
And he's got room. Touchdown, Detroit. Kenneth Walker on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Lions will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission.
The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Ready, set.
1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Burrow. He finds his man, complete. It's Bush. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And Burrow going to throw again.
Open man, that's Devontae Smith.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Come on, set.
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. And this throw will be intercepted. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will bring it back. An interception return for the Lions touchdown.
Well, the way things have been going to this one, Charles, it was only a matter of time before this defense got involved and made a big play. And they do right there. Gosh, this lead is so large, CD, and we're only in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's so amazing about it. You mentioned this large lead. How's this their first takeaway of the game? And what a spectacular one it was. Adding to the lead, showing the true dominance, and you're exactly right. We're still in the first half.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just one snap of the football.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway.
And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback.
Let's go. Quick, yellow. Hut.
Third quarter begins with a run by Walker.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. Really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing his Lance on 3rd down. Throw over the middle, he finds Williams. And he is going to have the Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
He's airing it out for Williams. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Lions have opened the lead up to 30.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
If, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible, let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The Vikings send out their punter, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. It's fielded at the 45. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
From midfield, here's Lance.
He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. Touchdown!
Jamison Williams
with his 3rd touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year.
And the Lions extend their lead yet again.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Now, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
123 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
And they'll run on the inside handoff.
And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Well, I think after that run, the defense get back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. While that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Ready?
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. They'll score that a 36-yard punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, they got to be thrilled with how they've operated so far in this one. They've got the nice lead, and now a chance to score here on 3 straight possessions.
Yeah, and the way that
he's got a man complete.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too. Straight ahead, Walker.
They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Here's Lance.
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Lions are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage.
Extra point right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 75 yards. And the Vikings get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. The Vikings leave the offense on the field as they're going to line up and go for two. They'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was. One of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
Hey, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Returnable here from the 38. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You just kind of feel for the defense right now, this deficit. They have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now. Trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they're down huge in this game.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And even 100 yards for him on the ground now and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense does.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. On second down, it's Walker. The solid stiff arm.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing second and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like second and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a first down.
From the gun on third down, Lance. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
Their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Now to the ground, here's Walker. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line, because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success.
And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself, no reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
The extra point splits the uprights, and this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. Here's Burrow. They'll roll him out right. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A gain there of 30 big ones. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Vikings.
So first and 10 now from the 30. Now it's Burrow. This is Smith with a grab. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
So not quite a first and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow.
Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson.
Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be second down.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the Lions' 9-yard line.
A final shot now for Burrow. Flushed out right.
And that one's going to be off target and incomplete. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw for both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Lions,